The last thing we're going to do in this section is something called finding the components of a composite function. Okay, and we have two examples. Basically what this is, we've spent all sections starting with two functions f and g, and then we compose them in a certain direction to come up with a new function, which is a composite function. Okay, well here we're going backwards. You're going to be starting with a composite function, and you're going to have to work backwards to figure out what the original functions f and g are. Okay, so you're going to have to identify what f of x is, what g of x is, so that if you compose them in the given order, because remember the order of composition matters, you end up with the given composite function. Okay, this is something that is called decomposition. Okay, you're decomposing it into the original functions. Okay, and it sounds difficult, but this is the easiest thing we do all semester, I promise you. Watch how easy. Okay, let's look at example 5. Find the functions f and g so that if you do the composition f of g, which we're calling function h, h is the square root of x squared plus 1. Okay, so let me explain this to you. Okay, h of x is the composite function. Okay, two functions f and g have already been composed in this direction, f of g, and the result is this square root of x squared plus 1. Okay, we have to come up with the f and the g, the two original functions. Okay, all right, watch how easy it is. Okay, pay attention to the order. We're doing f of g. Okay, so this is f of g of x. Okay, so when you look at it this way, you can see that g is the inside function and f is the outside function. Okay, so we're going to come over here. The composite function is the square root of x squared plus 1. Okay, when you look at this, what appears to be on the inside? Okay, well, inside the square root, I have x squared plus 1. Okay, so that's going to be your inside function. That's going to be the g. The g is going to be x squared plus 1. Okay, and then we've got to identify the outside function. Okay, we just used the x squared plus 1, so I'm going to scratch it out. Okay, what's left? Well, the square root. Okay, we need a variable, so we're going to put the square root of x. That's it. We just decomposed it into the original functions. Okay, the great thing is you can check yourself. Okay, if we do f of g of x, okay, so we're going to plug g of x into f of x here. So let's make sure we get h of x after we do this. Okay, so I'm going to write down the outside function, which is the square root of x. Okay, and then I'm going to plug in g of x. So I'm going to find my x. Okay, and I'm going to replace it with g of x, which is x squared plus 1. Okay, so I do end up with the square root of x squared plus 1. Okay, it's right. That's all you have to do. Okay, look at it in terms of inside function, outside function, but you've got to pay attention to the order of composition. That's really important. Okay, so if we do the same thing in example 6, okay, same process, we just have a different composite function. Okay, h of x this time is the absolute value of 2x plus 1. Okay, so this time we're trying to find the f and the g so that if we compose it different direction here, in example 5, we did f of g. Now we're doing g of f. Okay, so here we go. Okay, the composite function here is the absolute value of 2x plus 1. Okay, we're trying to find g of f of x here. Okay, so when you look at this, f is the inside function, g is the outside function. Okay, so when you look at the absolute value of 2x plus 1, what's on the inside? Well, 2x plus 1 is inside the absolute value. That's going to be your inside function. Okay, f is the inside function. So f of x is going to be 2x plus 1. Okay, now we've got to identify the outside function. We just used 2x plus 1, that yellow part, that became our inside function. Okay, we used it already, so we're going to scratch it out. What's left is the outside function. Okay, I'm left with absolute value. Okay, you've got to have a variable, so just put x. Okay, there is g of x. That's the outside function. Okay, again, you can check yourself to make sure you did this correctly. Okay, if we're forming g of f of x, we're plugging f into g. Okay, so I'm going to write down my outside function, which is g. Okay, which is the absolute value of x. Okay, and I'm going to go to my function. Every instance of x, I'm going to replace it with the inside function, which is f of x, which is 2x plus 1. Okay, so this is going to be the absolute value of 2x plus 1. Okay, that's h. So we're done. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward.